Jim from Advanced Performance Shooting again. And I wanted to do the second part of our topic, You Suck, It's Not the Gun. And that's MDFI's title for their course. And while I said in the first part, I think that's an absolutely hilarious title, I think it's almost a shame that we ever had to remind people that that's the case. And again, it's not meant in a derogatory term. But I wonder how much of the fact that we suck, it's not the gun, was brought about by marketing. So far that I opened with, I shot the Missouri concealed carry standard, if you will. Their requirement is 15 out of 20 shots at 7 yards, 21 feet on a B-27 target or its equivalent, and the IPSC target's slightly smaller. They only have to hit it 15 out of 20 times safely. In this case, I flanked the shoot target with no shoots, and I purposefully spread my shots out on the target. Just look at the target, not the no shoots, but the shoot target itself. 15 shots on the target, all spread out. That's a passing standard. That's a very achievable standard for everybody that I've ever had in my concealed carry class. I think the fact that there's a requirement, there's a need for a class like You Suck, It's Not the Gun, is the industry's fault. The firearms instruction industry has seen such a tremendous growth over the last several years. And there are several companies where you could go take a 3 or a 4 day class, and now you're certified to teach people about concealed carry or any other type of firearms use. I think that the difference between advanced and basic skills, I think that budgets, both time and money, have caused us to decrease the standard, to decrease our own expectation of ourselves. So I took the no shoots down, I cleaned up the shoot target, and in the middle I put a playing card sideways in the target. I really believe that if we focus on the fundamentals, we can raise the standard of firearms training. We can raise our own expectations. I didn't shoot all 20 rounds. I split the playing card, the second shot, then again on the third shot. And still at that same 7 yards. I think if we hold ourselves to a higher standard, if we hold our students to a higher standard, the standard across the board is made better. Sometimes I think the firearms training industry suffers from itself. I think that there's so much squabbling between teacher versus instructor, the competition will get you killed kind of concept. Walkthroughs are bad. Matt Little from Graybeard Actual talked about that in a blog post this week, that you wouldn't get that in real life. It's a rehearsal. It's a rehearsal like any sane person would do, given the opportunity. We're squabbling, we're fighting over such a small percentage. Some would say 7.6% of the population carries concealed, and only 1% of those are actually getting training behind their concealed carry course. Three, six, seven. $469. $670. $290. I appreciate what MDFI, and they're not the only one. I appreciate what they're doing inside of the industry, bringing our focus, doing their part to bring our focus back to the fundamental skills that it takes to run a handgun. They market that course towards basic as well as advanced shooters. It's all. Once we get behind the sights, whatever that sighting system is, there's no reason to squabble anymore. Proper grip, knowing how to aim the gun, knowing how to manage recoil, those are the fundamental skills that across the industry we should be trying to share with folks. Firearms industry, the teaching side inside the industry, is fighting amongst itself for what some would say is less than 10% of the population that carries a firearm to protect themselves. Somewhere around 1% of those actually go get training beyond their concealed carry course. And there's a ton of people fighting for those horribly small numbers. We need to raise the standard across the board. More people need to be carrying, more people need to be training, but the industry squabbles over whether we're teachers or we're instructors. We squabble over whether the instructor should demonstrate in front of the students. We squabble over the concept that competition will get you killed or walkthroughs you don't get in real life. That we're fighting over such a small percentage of people. What we sometimes, I think, fail to realize is we all suck. It's not the gun. We can always work to increase the standard by which we hold ourselves to, the standard by which we train our students to.